Yo guys, Beast, back with some more beastly content. So this video is going to cover everything you need to know in Phase 2. So that means the thermal towers, that means every single farm location you need to be farming, as well as how to get certain materials in the thermal tower. So my thermal tower is level 15, and I've done all but two of the first set of research tasks, and that's mainly what this is about, is how to get the materials for research tasks. But I wanted to go ahead and cover this first. So first things first, there's two different research tasks on the reactor level. There's 4 different levels. You got to activate all of them. We're going to cover all of that as well. But as you can see here, here's all the research tasks, and here's the 2 I have left. So one needs like capture material for the creatures. It's like you just unlock the mimetic and you can craft those in the stove pretty easily. They require like flowers, and one requires crops, and then the other one requires meat. So go kill animals. Super duper easy, right? So what about the fertilizer one? The fertilizer one is actually the one that I want to go ahead and tell you about. So that one actually requires apples, and there's a certain way to actually acquire apples in Way of Winter. But as you can see here, the research tasks, they all require different things. So they require platinum crystal, electronic parts, adhesive, all sorts, metal scraps, rubber, all sorts of different things, silver and gold, hot rock ore, cold ore, chaosium in the tons. You're gonna need a lot of chaosium, and honestly, I don't have any way of giving you a whole ton, but I should be able to get you a good few thousand in this video, no problem. And if you repeat the farms, you'll get a good few thousand over and over and over. Also, there are unlimited farms. I have a Chaosium farm linked down below. It is pretty decent. It's really quick. It's the fastest, infinitely repeatable one. So if you've done all your workshops, yeah. So back to the tower though. Here's the permissions list access settings. So basically, if anyone requests to join your tower, you can say yes. However, keep in mind, people have been known to join your tower sometimes, take stuff out of your depot, and then dip the instant they get it. So just keep that in mind. Luckily, everyone's been friendly on my server. No one's dipped with my stuff. I haven't had anything like that, but I have heard nightmare stories of that. Once again, when it comes to the capturing animal thing, you're just going to have to go into the mimetics, and you're going to have to unlock animal capturing to where it will allow you to craft that. I believe it's in the 3rd tab of mimetics, but on to the silver pickaxe. So, silver/gold pickaxe. So, the one you're actually going to want to use is the silver pickaxe, and the reason why is that when mining trees, there's a chance to drop a random fruit. Yes, you heard that right. Random fruit means you may not get a dang apple, and it's a chance, so it could be 5 trees in and you get an orange. And that's exactly what it is, actually. So, it will take you a very long time to get this growth boost thing done. I mean, not really. If you just sit down and make like 5 or 6 of the silver axes, go mine trees until they all break, surely you might have 6 apples at the end of it. But like I said, that's how you get apples in this, guys. As for the other 2, it's scarlet calamus and mushrooms. This is much easier, especially if you brought scarlet calamus seeds over from the previous season. If you haven't, hopefully you have some season transfer points left and some scarlet calamus seeds in your storage inventory. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure how you're going to get the Scarlet Calamus. I'm thinking this was like testing the current players. So, we had some Scarlet Calamus, so we grew that. The other thing is mushrooms. Mushroom seeds can be purchased in, I think, like all of the settlement shops, or maybe one of the settlement shops. It might just be the ice camp, but I'm not sure on that. Just go check all the settlements and see if they're selling mushroom seeds. They should be selling like 3 a day, I think it is. So, yeah, it's going to cost you some energy links, but you can buy mushroom seeds. The other thing is the Fetch-a-Lot Bunny. The Fetch-a-Lot Bunny can also just, randomly pick up mushrooms. He'll also give you mushroom seeds, all sorts of different seeds. I have a whole like 10 slots dedicated to Fetch-a-Lot Bunnies just for all the seeds right now, because I'm trying to get my farm up and going. So the next thing I actually want to cover real quickly is Silo Delta. The reason why we're actually covering this, and I'm going to talk about it later on the actual held item we're needing from this, is Frog the Leaper Deviation can drop from this Silo Delta. As a matter of fact, every single Deviation can, and it's a great place to farm Chaosium. It's infinitely repeatable. You're farming it for the deviations, and you might just want to stop the instant you get a Frog the Leaper, but you're wanting Frog the Leaper because he's going to make going out and farming the resources that you're needing for these towers and for your tier 5 gear and your tier 5 weapons and all that. It's going to make all of that a whole lot easier. Another way of farming Chaosium. I had to cover this because workshops are great. So, workshops. First of all, the tier 4 permits do give 800 Chaosium per run. So, what you want to do is go do workshops. Mainly look around on your server and see what workshops currently being done. That way, maybe you can join some other players. If you have friends, go do them together. Use up all of your extraction permit cards. I'm going to be showing you farm locations in a little bit into the future of the video. All of these locations will have a chance to drop extraction permits, so you're going to be doing all of these farms that I'm about to be telling you about. But once again, if you have any permits and you're needing a lot of Chaosium, this is a great way to do it. I will say the lower level permits only give like 200 and something, so I'd honestly rather just go farm Delta or even Silo 08. But with that being said, workshops are great, and the tier 4 ones do give a lot of Chaosium at 800 per run. That will add up very, very quickly, especially one time I got on and there was like 7 people doing workshop on my server at one time. So it was an absolute blast, let's just say. I got a good amount of stuff. I didn't actually run it too many times. I think we failed like one time, and everyone was like, well, that's it, we quit. And everybody left. I don't know if everybody ran out of ammo at the same time or what, but it sucked. Maybe I just joined late into like the extraction party or whatever. I had more permits, but I didn't feel like doing it unless someone else started it, and no one started it. But yeah, great Chaosium farm right here. Also acid, also Stardust source, and barreled fuel. So the reason why I told you to do Delta earlier until you get Frog the Leaper is because he makes spring legs, which makes your jump height plus 3.5 meters. This will allow you to jump way higher, and you usually should, as you can see, you usually should be able to glide across any lava pits that you run into. It'll help a ton in areas like Ashington or even the other silos, like Silo 08. It'll make you get literally anywhere you're farming. It'll make getting to the storage crates a lot quicker. Everything with Frog the Leaper. So on to Silo 08 now. Another thing, you can run Silo 08 over and over and over to get Stardust source, which I know you're going to be needing to farm a lot of it. This is probably the best silo to be running over and over if you're going to be using controllers at the current moment. Maybe phase 3 or phase 4 will release more silos, time will tell, but this is only information from phase 2, so do keep that in mind if you're watching this when phase 3 or phase 4 is out. So, as you can see though, Silo 08 is great. It's not too hard at all. All you do is run around, you kill all of the vultures, and then you collect all the storage chests, all the junk laying around, run through the painting, go to the next area, and boom, eventually you get to this messenger person. Basically, you can damage it for a little bit, then you'll have to take one of these paintball things here, throw it at the messenger, and then you can just lay waste into it. Also, I kind of wanted to show you how my pyroclasm build is going. Overall, I think it's doing pretty good against the messenger here. I think it's at about calibration 5 here, but once again, Silo 08, great place to farm. You're going to be getting the platinum crystals that you're needing. There's going to be other junk in here like electronic parts and just the materials to make your armor, all of this. And once again, the chest here will be resetting every single 4 hours as most of the farms mentioned in this video. But like I said, this boss is super duper easy. If you were looking for a silo to be running over and over and over for Stardust source and weapon calibrations and things like that, this is more than likely the silo you're going to be doing all the way up until phase 3, and then we'll see what the pro silos look like, because I don't think we're done with silos, and if we are, that really sucks. I'm really hoping in the next 2 phases we get at least one more silo, because this is literally a level 40 silo. However, there are, other difficulties. But great silo to run, 80 Stardust source per run. So, you might want to run it a couple times to get your Stardust source up so you can actually get your weapons upgraded to calibration 10. I actually haven't sat down and done that, though, because there's so many other places to go farm stuff at. So first we're going to get to the Fire God Research Center. So this place is pretty decent to farm. Mainly I'm farming this for the rubber, but I do believe it also gives platinum crystals, and you're going to want to farm every single location. So we're going to go ahead and cover the Fire God Research Center. Now, I didn't actually show it on map due to the fact that the story takes you to this area pretty much right off the bat. This is like the first area the story will take you to. It's the Fire God Research Center. It's like just at the beginning of the Ember Strands map area. Another great place to be farming. It's not completely filled with chests, but I definitely would go ahead and do it after you've done all of the other locations mentioned in this. Once again, this is like a final location after you've done everything. You need some more platinum crystals. Might go check here. You might be in luck and get yourself some more platinum crystals or special plastic or any other sort of material that you might be needing. Once again, all the materials are dropping from all of these locations. You're going to get a ton of materials by doing all this, but the thermal towers need a whole ton, and you're trying to get it to level 24. Just some things to keep in mind there, but like I said, I love running through this area. It does have a good amount of stuff, especially in the laboratory areas of this little farm here. There's also a Rosetta Heavy in here, so even more Eclipse Cortexes. I literally have like 100 and something level 1 Eclipse Cortexes, and my purifications have been done for a while now. I don't think they actually reset until like another day, so I should be ready day 1 for purifications just by doing all these farm locations. And this is how you get OP, is by doing all these farm locations. You want to be hitting all of these from Fire God Research Center to all the other ones we're going to be mentioning in the future, but I had to mention this one because it's a very good one, and it's also a lower level one in case maybe you're not completely maxed out yet or you're farming for your tier 5 gear still. You might want to go to this one first because it is a lower level area. The enemies might be just a little bit easier to kill. kill. We'll say though, you're still going to need a good build to go to most of these locations, or maybe you can run past the enemies, get like an invisibility potion or something. I don't know. They're only level 37s here though, so definitely an earlier level area for those who just maybe got into phase 2 and still need your tier 5 gear calibrated up. Mine's max calibration, so this place was a breeze for me, but it may not be for you. And also, it's another great place to, you know, farm gunpowder. Now, I have like hundreds of gunpowder, so not really something I've purposely farmed, but I have done all these locations as well. So, we're going to go to Mooseville actually now. So, the reason why we're going to Mooseville is mainly for an extra rubber source. So, I'm always running out of rubber on this, especially with the thermal towers. I think it needed like 300 on one quest, and then I had like no rubber to repair my stuff. So, Mooseville's a low-level area you can go to farm rubber if that's all you're missing to repair your armor, and also you need rubber for the towers anyway. It's a pretty great location for rubber. I got like a good amount of it. I think I got like 100 rubber out of farming this area, if I'm remembering correctly. Also, it does give like a ton of Molotovs while you're farming it. Definitely an area low. Earth farming, and as you can see here, oh look, 60 rubber, but I don't think we really farmed the whole thing. And also there's some like for other areas too. I think that's from Fire God and Mooseville, but still pretty sure most of the rubber was from Mooseville. Definitely worth doing Mooseville. It's once again one of those like last farms you want to do, or if you're low on rubber, there is going to be some rubber in Mooseville you can get. That way you can repair your stuff. Also, I'm trying to make high voltage batteries because I have the Stardust pumps. However, these things just use way too much resources. There has to be a pneumatic to like lower the cost for batteries or something, or maybe a new battery I can make that's cheaper. I don't know. 50 electronic parts per battery, that's way too much for me. I'm going to have to find another source of Stardust, and I think it's going to be polluted zones in the thermal tower. That's what we're working on now when it comes to our thermal tower. As you can see though, here's how my material's looking just by doing the farms I've been doing over and over and over. I have like thousands of some materials. The materials that you don't need for the tower, I just have way too many of. So there's really like 1 or 2 materials I'm always missing. I'm usually just missing platinum crystals because the entirety, and we're just about to be into the rest of the farms now. But first, I want to go ahead and cover another area. So this is actually going to be where to farm silver and gold. Now we're going to be covering a couple different locations for silver and gold, but the first one is a 4-hour base timer. So this one, the reason why I like to do this one, and also you want to activate your rift anchors for platinum crystals. But the reason why I actually like to do this one is, first of all, there's 2 iron ores just right by this teleport tower. You could technically just keep reloading the towers for to harvest these. I think there's actually a couple just across from it as well, usually. But as you can see here, a good amount of ore there. But the reason why we're actually going here is going to be for the cave. Now, we're going to the cave and we're collecting the ores through the cave here. Now, these respawn every 4 hours, the ores here. Now, the ice crystal ores themselves, they respawn, every 5 minutes. But the actual ore crystals here, they respawn every 4 hours. And there's a chance for them to be gold, and there's a chance for them to be silver, besides from being tungsten and aluminum. So first of all, tungsten and aluminum is needed for the tower anyway, so it's a great place to farm your tungsten and aluminum up, while also hoping to get some silver. So we actually got lucky on this run, and we had some silver. So we actually had 2 of them, and we got a Digby out of it. So once again, pretty great place. You can farm Digby's here, you can farm silver here. You're going to need silver for the towers, also for your silver axes to be going to get them dang apples. Oh my god, I'm sick of mining trees. But, as you can see here, tungsten ore. Good thing is my ult's not leveled up yet, so I think I can just throw at some of those silver axes and let it go farm for the trees while getting leveled up. So, here we go though. The next thing to mention is Digby Boys. I have a whole bunch of them placed down in my base. The reason for this is that Digby Boys actually have a chance of bringing back silver and gold. Now, today's harvest didn't look so good, at least this hour's harvest, I guess it is. So, this didn't work out too well. We didn't actually get any silver or gold out of this, but on to the next farm area, because there are more farm areas. East Blackstone Teleport Tower, wabam. So this area here actually has a lot of gold. This is just outside of like the Ice House camp, like all the way down at the bottom of the map. It's like a little stick out point. Hopefully you got where that is. So here we are though. You just need to go to the teleport tower and then look around and see if you see any gold or silver ores. Usually you can take a drive. I like to take a drive from the start of the top of this hill all the way down the hill to the road, around the corner of the road, and then back up the hill. I've had times where it spawned right beside the road. I've had times where it spawned directly in that field I just looked at now, and in the field behind me even. Now, the thing about the field behind me actually is there is also ice crystals here, so you can be farming your ice crystals here, as well as, that other cave that we mentioned. There's another ice crystal location. We covered ice crystal locations as well as silver and gold all in one little segment of the video, guys. So, as you can see though, I like to take the little road and then go back around and just kind of follow it up and look for silver and gold ingots here. This is more of a popular area, and sometimes I've found where other players have like already collected the silver because I see their Digby floating that didn't even take the audacity, I know. But Yeah, just a great little silver and gold farm. Also, there are a couple little ice crystal locations around here, and you can just reload the tower if you're having bad luck on the world you're on finding the silver and gold ingots. You can actually just reload to another world, and hopefully no one's been here. But you can't really rely on this spot too much. The location I showed you in the Frost Forge area, once again, you should also be doing your Frost Forge and your Wishland farms because they're still going to be giving you extra rubber, which you're going to need a ton of. But also Moosefill as well is a great rubber spot if you're just looking for a quick hookup. It doesn't take long to farm Moosefill at all. But we're going to actually be heading on into the Fire Throat region to actually be doing a farm now, and I'm going to show you a specific farm run that's going to be giving you Chaosium. It's going to be giving you a whole ton of tier 5 materials, all super duper quickly. I'm talking like 20 dumpsters all in one spot, super duper easy. So we actually spawned on this teleport tower, and you can go up to the top area where that player is playing and actually like go kill the enemy. So drop Chaosium. There's also storage crates up there with tier 5 materials and everything. We're actually just going to take the elevator down. So I'll see you once we get to the bottom, and here we are actually. So we are just going to run through this area, killing all the enemies and collecting all the storage crates. Just constantly be hitting Q. It'll show you exactly where they're at. This is just like the easy crates to get before you get to the main farm, but also all of these have a chance of dropping platinum crystals. There's a gear crate. You've seen some platinum crystal there. Once again, platinum crystals are super important. You're going to be using a ton of these in this season. Also, hey, look, here's one of the mystical chests. I think that's the mystical one, or the morphic one. I don't know. It doesn't count as like the goal here. The actual one that counts as the goal is in the church. But right outside of the church here, hopefully you've seen how to get here, Chaosium of 494. Plus 80, it's like a whole bunch of barrels of Chaosium, reloads every 4 hours, something to make note on. Also, if you've never explored this area and you want the settlement like completion XP, which is quite a bit, it can level you up 10,000. The Morphic chest is literally inside the church. It's like the Invincible Sun church. I think it's part of the Invincible Sun quest, but I didn't have it activated, so it didn't really tell me where to go, and I couldn't collect the one on the podium, so I'm assuming that's not it. So you can actually jump straight down from that church area down to here. You'll see this super easy. In the top left corner, there's a whole bunch of garbage cans here, super duper easy to get. There's platinum crystal chance in here, there's furniture plans, there's extraction permits, there's everything in here you might need, all the materials, all the tier 5 materials, everything. As you can see there, we got 2 different plans there. I already have the Rosetta case, I already have the couch, but I think we're finally gonna have the blueprint coins like stacking up finally, where we can actually use them and try them out a little bit. But as you can see, you're just going to run through here and kill all the enemies and harvest all the buildings outside of here. We walk just outside of the area where the dumpsters are, and we're killing all the enemies here because there's a whole bunch more dumpsters just down the road from here, but you want to kill all the enemies and collect all the areas nearby because there's also material in there. And then there's a warehouse area in the back. Go ahead and harvest that warehouse and head on to the next location. So Snake something cave, we'll say the name in a minute. But we started straight from its teleport tower, and now we're going to enter into the back entrance of this area. So we actually go to the back because the back gets us straight to the rock ore crystal farm. It also gets us to some enemies as well as a bunch of storage chests, and it will take us into the base area where there are also a bunch of storage chests containing all kinds of tier 5 material. The enemies here are level 48, so they're dropping about 260 XP per enemy, and also, you know, I think it's like 7 to 10 Chaosium per enemy. You need Frost Vortex grenades, just so you know. Go make those in your synthesis bench or your advanced synthesis bench, and then throw them at the rock crystals. It will freeze them so that they're not burning you to death, and you will be able to mine them. If you try and get close to them without actually freezing them, they will just get hotter and hotter until they explode, as you can see here. Throw your Frost Vortex grenade, collect from this, and then you can once again run on through the rest of the base, because the rest of the base is also a great place to be farming your platinum crystals, electronic parts, everything you're needing, you know, all that carbon fiber fabric, all that tier 5 stuff, all that stuff your tower needs, everything is also farmable here. And once again, the tower needs so much material, you need to be hitting every single one of these farms. That's why I apologize for the length of this video. However, it was necessary because you need to know all of these locations if you plan on getting your tower to level 24 anytime soon. So one other thing I want to go ahead and mention is the Stardust source ore. There's actually a really easy way to get to some. If you do public events, and as you can see, your public lost is going on here, so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to go ahead and show you the next clip, because I love Paradise Lost. And you need to be doing 3 events a day, because that's 3 controllers a day that you can get, and you want controllers so that you can run as many silos as you want. Not everybody has 250 controllers like me. So the dark side is actually the event you want to do, because when the dark side triggers, go to that area, it'll take you to a contaminated area, and yes, Stardust or can spawn there. I'm not sure if it'll spawn there during the event or after, but I've collected it from there and I got enough to actually complete the thermal tower quest that way. So just wait for the dark side, or you can go to another polluted area, look up another video on that. This isn't anything to do with polluted area. I'm about to turn my thermal tower into a polluted area, so I really do not care about polluted areas. So on to the final area, being Ashton. So you can either start at Oblivion or this teleport tower here, the Fire Throat area. So since everybody probably has Oblivion locked, or at least will have to have Oblivion locked by completing enough story, go to Oblivion and you can just get to Ashton. I'm not going to cover a whole bunch about this. As you can see here, this, when we actually went to the area, I'd already done the thing, and I just didn't feel like using the previous clip because it was way too long. This area has a whole ton of stuff though, guys, and you may actually miss something if you don't go farm all the buildings. Like I said, I ran this earlier and I completely forgot this building. You want to be farming all of these locations in completion because you are going to be needing all of these materials. And even if you have a ton of some materials, other materials you're going to be very low on. Like I have 13 platinum crystals now, and I think there's still a good amount of research tasks that I have to complete with platinum crystals. But I am out. See yous. Keep it beast mode.